You're such an asshole.
So one of the handful of unpopular positions I have is a defense of different people, particularly trans people, where very libertarian, like, well, no, I mean, it's up to you. You do your thing. It stems from my belief of the supremacy of the individual, and you have 100 complete total right to yourselves. If you're not hurting anyone, well, I don't care. And then also, even though a lot of people would disagree with me, I believe in my mind that I have met some legitimately trans people, exceptionally few. God almighty, how many clients have I had over the years? Probably at least the thousands, at least 3,000 to 5,000. Two. Cappy, what makes you think they're legit? Because they were normal people with real fucking jobs. I think, I don't know, I didn't poll them politically, but they're at least Republican or lean right or libertarian. And my main concern with whatever variant, trait, thing you were born with is how lazy people, prompted and conditioned by the Democrat or the leftist party, whatever you want to call it, in an attempt to validate their parasitism, their laziness, their enslavement of other people, that they're entitled to other people's wealth and work and labor and time, is the old fucking tiring. I'm from minority disadvantaged group X. Everybody else not part of group X is oppressing me. I need help and money and assistance. And more psychologically hypocritical is I have tremendous value because of X. And there's, what was I was Black Pigeon Speaks. He just did a video not too long ago about how, based on polling, he was citing some kind of research where lesbian is falling out of favor. Women aren't lesbian anymore. Now they're pan or tri, or it wasn't trans, pan, bi, tri, quad, Bulbasaur. And you looked at it like this proves, well, and there's another bit of data point. The percent of young people, I think they did teenagers like 16 to 19 or something. It's on the younger end of Gen Z who are identifying as simply not straight, right? Let's just call it that. That dropped. Why? Because it ain't popular no more. And it really pisses me off when people start doing the Jane Dolezal, if you remember her, where it's a white woman who took tanning pills and dyed her hair up, posed herself as being black, even worked for the NAACP. I have gay friends where, surprise, they all got jobs and they're normal people, and they don't shove it in your face like a pilot or a libertarian that, hey, by the way, I'm a pilot, or a vegan, right? Vegans, but there's another example. I'm a vegan. No, you're not. You're a lazy piece of shit theater kid who's doing it because you're too fucking lazy to put the work into some kind of accomplishment. That's what it is. That's all it is. And it's insulting to genuine, whatever, vegetarians, genuine trans, genuine gay people. What's the one? Oh, the truly insulting one was when all you under 40-somethings all have your makeup imaginary mental disorder to get preferential treatment, while actual people suffer from real mental illness and mental disorders. You think it's a fucking shirt. You think it's something with a fucking Cavaricci logo on it. That's why I hate you people. You're frauds, you're liars, you're parasites, and you're an insult to the group of people you claim to belong to. And that's my opinion. You may not agree with me that trans people do or do not exist. What the fuck is going on? Swear to God. Every fucking device I got's got to let me know something's going on. Taking this fucking shit off. God Christ almighty. I know I did not want to connect my watch to the phone, but apparently it's going to connect anyway. And buzz all the fucking time. Whether you believe trans is real or not, okay? I think we all agree we hate a hypocrite. And damn near everyone under 30 has been conditioned by Democrats to grasp at some kind of trait or disadvantage, cry victim, and demand fucking free money and everybody work more so I don't have to work. Right? That's where I get pissed off. I think you guys do too. So I got a request from a guy, and he wants to tell the tale of two trans people, but they're not trans. I thought, and he comes out in defense of religion, blah, blah, blah. But then he tells the story, and here's the drawback, okay? Shit, they make cartoons of this, like back in the day, where you're trying to be someone you're not and inevitably consumes you, and there's nothing good that comes of it. Know thyself. Hi, Aaron. I'm reaching out about some true experience I've had regarding two trans people. You have been posting several videos lately regarding trans issues and how other Minnesotans foster this insanity. And just like you, I hold no contempt in my heart towards trans people, and in fact, truly want them to live the best life possible. Why wouldn't you want that of everybody? There's two types of people in the world. Let me tell you the two types of people. There's the type of people that when a buddy wins the lottery, they're happy. Oh, dude, you won the lottery. That's great. And then there's the other group of people, that bastard, you owe me. Ask any athlete who gets picked for the draft what happens back at home. What? Huh? Get that. Yeah, I think we all, most healthy, sane people want other people to do well. Period. In fact, truly want them to live their best life as possible. Even that means them not conforming to traditional expectations about gender. But they are what they are. However, the leftist Marxist bullshit component, which has now infiltrated the trans movement, is so great as to be impossible to ignore and has unfortunately reached a critical mass in which it not only destroys the lives of transitioners themselves, but the lives of the family and friends too. By me sharing these stories, I hope they serve as a cautionary tale for members of your listening audience who are contemplating a good gender. It's not, you're even missing the point. It's not a contemplation. Let's go turd flinging monkey. Okay. I think it was Karoy, one of his regular panelists, decided he was bi. he was, no, it's not been this way. I'm not straight. You've seen that happen where the gay guy, he comes out gay, but he raised a family because of social pressure. You either are or you're not. Now, the process of transitioning, that is a choice. However, and maybe you got to talk to people, therapists, especially growing up. But if you're trans, you're trans. You're gay, you're gay. You're straight, you're straight. It shouldn't even be a headache to think about, right? No, this is what it is. Now, whether you go through the surgery is another issue. I'll grant you that. That's a big step. But the main issue is not whether people are trans or not. The main issue is how many straight people are faking it for attention and how much the Democrat Party, which is half the political apparatus, whether you like it or not, is pushing that as a strategy and therefore pushing otherwise straight people, especially when you're younger. I know how you Democrats love children. I know why you all want to be teachers. I know why you love the children so much. You love them a little bit too much. And then they push them into the idiocy of the phrase gender ideology. What is that? What does that have to do with? What does gender have to do with any morality or politics? What does it have to do with any? The fact gender ideology is a thing proves it's a fucking scam. I have a gender. Yes, you do. I want money for it. No, that's gender ideology. That's where the damage comes in. Where leftist political parties, whichever variation, go and use the temptation of being so that you're lazy and you don't have to work. Hey, all you got to do is claim you're trans or gay or whatever, autism. And here's all the money. And there's a lot of weak people in the United States, a lot of weak people in the world, and everyone is lazy. You say, all I got to do is act like I like dick, maybe suck one occasionally, and then I get money, value, attention, and resources, and I don't have to work. Tell me more. until you find out you're straight and you're sucking a dick, and no wonder maybe you go and shoot up a school. Leftist Marxist bullshit, impossible to ignore, reach a critical mass in which it not only destroys the lives of transitioners themselves, it definitely inconveniences them. Who are all these fucking posers? You know, Caitlyn Jenner, he's a Republican, right? You know that, right? Why? Because he's a hardworking guy or gal. Busted his ass off. Wow. You know, at least you got to give him credit. He pulled it off. Like, okay, yeah, you are feminine looking for a 65-year-old guy. You put the effort into it. When I see some fat, pink-haired fucking freak, no. You're fat. You're lazy. This is just a shtick so you don't have to work. This is just a fashionable shirt for you. See, in my day, to get false value, we'd grow mullets, okay? And then we'd roll our high top or roll our jeans and we get Nike high tops. That was our fraudulent value system. We didn't claim to lick the genitalia of the genitalia we didn't like, mutilate our face, and dye our hair ridiculous colors. Back in our days, the douchebags would wear Cavariccis. That's how we knew who was really cool until they became adults. Can't you just roll your jeans? Can't you just poof your bangs? Fuck. By me sharing these stories, hope to serve cautionary tales of members of your listening audience who are contemplating gender transition or who have children, relatives, family, friends who are contemplating transitioning. It's up to them. Look, a straight dope talk. Hey, man, I don't care. Want to go bowling? My friend, the talented Mr. He's gay. No one cared. No one. It would serve well for parents, which is this is a tall order for you American parents, to actually parent and ensure that your child is when they claim to whatever the gender might be, whatever their sexual preference might be, to say, hey, is that real? Or are you fucking around? Now, this is why this woke Marxist fraudulent posing as some kind of trait I got that I don't. That's why it takes ground in Minnesota so well, because there ain't no fathers there to stop it. What, dear? What? Okay. You guys going to vote another Democrat in now that your buddy Tim Walz ain't going to run again? Which slave master are you guys going to vote in now? All right. My certain relative removed, I'm going to say what, going from a guy to a gal. Okay. My former male relative, I'll call him Glenn. I have known for many years. Who married into the family where the guy married a woman with 2 children from her previous message. I'm a decade older than Glenn, and I never suspected he was non-gender conforming, as he was interested in traditional manly things like geeky shit, which I don't want to identify him either. He's also very intelligent and someone who, prior to all this, I thought was going to go far in life. However, his parents were gigantic leftists and therefore never exposed Glenn to the rest of the world outside of the Twin Cities. This was made glaringly apparent when, within 2 months of his high school graduation, Glenn announced to all of us that he is trans and wanted to be known from that day forth as Glenda. There you go. You see, you guys think I'm joking about American parents, especially Minnesota fathers. Right? Was it the kid that just shot up the school down in Minnesota? Was it his dad, the lefty touchy-feely type, and the mom was the one that had have the spine? Surprise, they're divorced. Oh, and Twin Cities public schools, of course they're pushing everyone to be trans and gay and whatever. It's the cool new thing. His father and mother were, of course, so happy because now they had a final token minority in the family. But that enthusiasm quickly faded once Glenda started hanging around a crowd of other trans individuals who, surprise, surprise, were also rabid Marxist leftists. Okay, were they trans people or were they Marxist leftist straight people wearing the clothes of trans persons so they could avoid work? See, it's very important we make this distinction, right? I'm going to go. No, they were rabid Marxist leftists who just another fancy way of saying people who don't want to work are willing to enslave other people so they don't have to, donning on the mask of a trans person so that they could get attention-free money and a fraudulent, flawed argument as to why they're entitled to other people's money. I got you Democrats all figured out. It's not that hard. For me, anyway. Now, for the dopey dumbasses out there, your double-digit IQ, your normie-conformities, inferiors, you can hoodwink them. And I suppose that's all you care about because they make up the voting mass, right? I mean, you're winning, right? But don't think you can fool me. I've seen this for decades. And effectively force-fed that ideology to him. From there, Glenda dropped out of college. He had been offered a full-ride STEM degree career at a place. Is that a good school? I think that's a good school. Unintentionally caused harm to someone else. Unintentionally. I mean, you just had bad luck. And now lives in a shitty studio apartment while working as a minimum wage entry-level person with seemingly no future ahead of him. There you go. There you go. Dude, that temptation to be lazy is so powerful. Never at the core of all this gender politics, identity politics, trait-based politics, all of it is laziness. That's all it is. People don't want to work. And it fascinates me how far certain people will go out of their way not to work. No future ahead of them. Again, it's not my life, but I can't help but wonder if Glenn had just stuck to his original STEM path and frankly stayed a male, how much better his life could have turned out. Well, it would have turned out a lot better on multiple things. One, I don't believe he's trans. He's faking it for popularity, for social, whatever, for reasons that aren't true. Then he got into essentially a unsustainable political system, ideology, plan, philosophy. Other people but me work, right? Well, that's what I was going to say. Laziness is such a powerful force. You want to know why it's so powerful? It's so powerful. You can tell because men are fat. That means laziness is more powerful than the male sex drive. Like, right, guys? If you'd like to have sex, you'd lose the weight. But I require exercise and diet. It is so powerful. It does, and it doesn't surprise me that people will go to the extreme of faking a gender. Why, Democrats, I got a question. Why couldn't you come up with something that was healthy, an identity that was healthy? Like working out. Oh, we're such a minority in a disadvantaged group that we're in shape, and that would promote people to work out, right? Oh, that's right. It takes effort. It's never. Why would you go with, hey, this thing that's really important and is definitely going to have mental effects on you later on is who you want to sleep with? We'll even go so far as to treat you with drugs and cut pieces of your body off. Could you have come up with a better, healthier way to do the victimhood identity politics shit? Right? There's no getting around. That's pretty damaging. Can't wonder if Glenn had stuck to his original STEM path and frankly stayed as a male, how much better would his life have turned out? Would have turned out a lot better on multiple things. One, he's a straight guy. Almost convinced of it. All right. It is. Because he went into the Marxist. So he's lying to himself. He's lying about his gender. That right off the bat is going to have mental problems. Like if I'm straight, but if I'm like forced to act all the time like I like dick, that's really going to fuck with me. This isn't Mrs. Doubtfire where you put on a dress and you act a little bit because you want to spend time with your kids. That would drive anyone nuts. That was a comedy. Being someone you're not takes a psychological toll. That's got to suck. Had he just stuck with STEM? Yes, he'd be wealthier. I've said this a million times to young people. Like, look, I know you hate America, you hate capitalism, you hate white males, whatever it is that you hate. Majoring in some bullshit that is activist based and also based on your hatred, that ain't going to help you. Why don't you go major in accounting, become a CPA, and then in your free time or as a minor, major in activist studies, right? You're going to be financially, you could still protest whatever it is you want to protest, but you'll have money. I don't see why him being trans precludes him from majoring in STEM. So now he's poor. And then just going into cahoots with Marxists, which is, it's not the ideology of Karl Marx or Leninism. You're hanging out with lazy, parasitic people. That's not good. That's not good for anyone. It's like hang out in a den of thieves. You can't trust anyone. What's the value system there, right? See, my value system with my friends, the male friends anyway, is how good can we insult one another, right? It's what kind of art, what kind of precise attack can we get to bust some guy's balls, right? And then helping each other out when we can. What's their value system? Who can virtue signal more? Who could come up with the latest rationalization as to why they're entitled to other people's labor? These are not fun people. Forget unethical, lazy, immoral, parasitic, thieving, stealing, slave man. Forget that. These are not fun people. Who wants to hang out with them? I'm not saying hanging out with milky toast Republicans is going to be better, but goddamn, man. Yeah, I know. Let's go get some more organic coffee and smell like patchouli. It sounds like a great time, man. Especially in my late 40s. This is a grand old time. Can we shoot guns, drink whiskey, go hike, live life, and have politics now? Well, how about that? Like, can they have fun without politics? Yeah. But here's the thing. The reason he's miserable and in this situation is because he was not true to himself. I don't think he's trans. He did it for a lie. And that's why I would say the majority of people who claim to be trans are lying straight people who are claiming it falsely for whatever perceived benefits the Democrats have convinced them of. Number two, a person I know who knows a person who knows a person murdered ex-spouse. Okay. I'm at a place. I know a guy. A straight woman I've known for a certain amount of time. I'm really trying to cover for you here, man. Who ended a marriage because after moving to the burbs and having a child with her, her husband decided to become a she. While this person I know and I have not talked at length about his transition itself, she has shared enough tidbits with me about their marriage for me to assume that, like you and I, she's highly skeptical of the entire modern trans ideology. You answered it right there. It's not an ideology. Is left-handed, right-handed ideological? Is blue-eyed, brown-eyed, and whatever, hazel-eyed, is that ideological? Is toe fungus ideological? It's not an ideology. There's no ideology. It's a trait. It's a fucking trait. And that you answer it skeptical of the ideology, you should throw it all out. What do you mean ideology? Well, I'm into trans ideology. Fuck you. What's there to be ideological about? You either are or you aren't. You should be treated equally according to law. What is there to be? What value? Oh, you have an idea about it? I have an idea about being left-handed. By the way, I'm not left-handed. I'm just using that as an example. What ideas are there to have? See, this is in that Bell distribution curve. Everyone's sucker punk. They fall for it. Oh, what ideology? No. There's no such thing as ideology on traits. What are you talking about? I have an ideology on brunette hair. What? Shit, man. Professional sports has more authenticity or right to having an ideology because at least there's strategy and theory and culture associated with it. Until recently, all I knew about her ex-husband is that he fully transitioned and soon after surgery got romantically involved with the man she considered very sketchy and who had a lengthy criminal record. That may be legit, right? It may be legit because if you go through the transition surgery, I'm like, and you're not a kid, right? This is not some 17-year-old, whose mom isn't a Dinah soccer mom and needs attention on the internet and doesn't mind using their kid to get butchered and like, oh, look, my child, right? This isn't, this is a full grown man. He went all the way. Fully transitioned, sketchy guy. This also caused a bitter dispute over their young child because the wife felt this guy was a bad influence while her ex, of course, accused her of lying because she was trying to get back at him for the divorce and his sex change. Fast forward to a certain point in time. I was informed. Hang on. How do I want to do this? That her ex had been murdered the night before. Neighbors heard them fighting loudly and then a gunshot followed by a scream and silence. So the guy who killed her ex, is it his husband? Because you say the man who killed her ex was arrested and is currently sitting in prison. But was it the guy? Oh, wait. Him and his new lover are fighting law. Okay, so it is the guy. All right, got it. But sadly, the child has started injuring him herself. And I'm not making a joke. I just don't want to identify the kid because too young to handle the stress of the divorce, plus the dad's transition and his brutal death. Yeah. I don't know. I think the guy just chose poorly. I mean, if you're asking me to be a referee on this, I have this. I would say he was legit. This was authentic. One might say there was mental illness involved if you're going after a criminal to date/marry. That's another thing. And by the way, for those of you in the trans community, this is not, do I get blue socks or red socks? This is a serious thing. And there is an attempt self-deletion rate of 4 in 10. I believe it's post-transition surgery. We are bringing this up not because we hate you, all right? Which I know legitimate people in the trans community know we actually give a care. It's the fake straight people. You're doing your thing. You're doing good Democrat, good little Democrat. You followed the thing. You followed the script. You claim to be a victim. Good. Our concern, you jujitsu'd and judoed into an attack on you, and now you're a victim. It's like, no. Make sure this is where you should probably talk to a therapist or endocrinologist. Talk to a lot of people before you do this because there is a high regret rate. And frankly, we don't want you dying. Am I wrong here? Like, hey, really consider it, man, because there's some risky, the stats aren't good. It's like trying to get somebody to stop smoking. Hey, maybe you ought to think about smoking, man. That doesn't end well for people. That comes from the people who are not sane. That comes from the posers. That comes from the leftists. It comes from the straight people trying to put on some kind of suit or a hat. Yeah, I don't know. I think he just chose poorly, and maybe the guy was suffering from mental issues. And now, yes, there's obviously collateral damage. I'm not even related to these people, but it hurts me so much to see what was once a loving, tight-knit family completely fall apart. Well, okay, know thyself. You saw a tight-knit family. That guy was probably suffering because he wasn't straight, at least, right? Now he created another human being, got married, not to mention his own time living a lie. This kind of goes back to that, where you find out the husband was gay this entire time and just through social pressure, that's why he did it. So everyone involved paid a huge price for what I consider to be the most heinous and narcissistic gender transition never to occur. I disagree. I don't think it was narcissistic. I think the guy was just being true to himself. The narcissism, the selfishness was creating a family, doing what you thought you should do because society said so. I just want others to understand, despite what legacy media wants people to believe, not every trans person experience has a happy ending. And this ideology, it's not an idea. Yes, the ideology has harmed everyone that touches because it's an ideology. It's not a fact, right? If you're going to subscribe, like that's like me subscribing to be, I'm a black person. I can't subscribe to African ideology or African American ideology. That's not. I'm not black. Right? You're either black or you're not. You're either trans or you're not. This is not a choice. This is not a menu. Left real pain and devastation they more often than not never saw coming. What you need. I'll tell you this. I'll simplify it a little bit more, although not in the second case. This is Marxism. This is cultural Marxism. This is cultural socialism. This is, instead of a direct transfer of money from one group of person of another, because you're a rich capitalist bastard and you have more than me. This is, it's the psychological component of Marxism. How do I get intrinsic value? Right? Non-financial value, which is very important. How do I get love? How do I get respect? How do I get admiration? How do I get acceptance? How do I get community social value without working? And the answer is we don't. But what if I do current popular thing and live a false life? Well, you can do that, but you're going to be miserable, man. That's the problem. It's leftism. It's socialism. It's the classic trying to make gold out of lead, get something from nothing. You're trying to violate the conservation of mass law here. It will not work. It will fail. Be honest with yourself. If you're right-handed, that doesn't make you a Democrat. There's no ideology with being right-handed. If you're brown-eyed, that doesn't mean you are oppressed or entitled to other people's money. And if you're whatever, Latino, lesbian, female, autism and all that, you're not entitled to free shit. You're not special. You're not bad. There's nothing wrong with these things. That's just not, that doesn't generate value, just as being brown eyes does not generate value. Cyberbully. I'm hitting this one now. It's all about the oil, man. And then you're some washed up, parasitic, lice-infested hippie boomer who gets to jerk off one last time before you die because the United States happened to take out the leader of a country that happens to have oil. Yeah, man, the oil, man. Enjoy your last protest, boomers. It's been fun. So there you go. I got no resources on this. I don't. I guess Sanity is the Future of Wealth. Go pick up that essay if you'd like. Also, I don't know what. Yeah, I got a link below, my Amazon affiliate link. You can go to asselconsulting.com/Amazon, buy my shit there. No, man, we wish all you legitimately trans people out there the best. There are whole other social and it's not statistically common. You're going to run into some inefficiencies in society. And depending on the family you're from, they may, I have no son. There are issues. But if you're a straight person faking it, you being trans is not the issue. It's you faking something that is the issue. Bill's Wolger, $5. I love the merce of the it's not mine. It's a God almighty, Yuhan Yakur. Here, watch this. There you go. Look at that. Goofballs. XX, $2. RIP Glenn. No, that's not funny. That's not funny. The American Noble. Please subscribe to the American Noble. $5. Fleece Johnson Djibouti. Warrior already did an experiment to see how many straight men would sit on his lap for a car. People are gay for pay. Dude, $20 is $20, man. Don't tell me, American Noble. Don't tell me if you were 20 years old back then and you were starving, you wouldn't suck a dick for $250,000. Don't tell me you wouldn't just, hey, you know what? I'm straight as an arrow. But this money, this early on in my life, tossed it in. Every guy be lined up. Everybody be gay for a day there. Guarantee you. XX, $2. Glenda's got the American Noble, $5. They get angry when you come up with facts. It kills the illusion of being a victim. So instead of taking accountability, they get to name calling and signaling and then shooting up schools, which I don't understand. Because there's like multiple ones now. These are not. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. I shouldn't be able to visually identify a trans person, right? Because they act in their mind, they are whatever sex they are, and that they would commit to looking and presenting themselves that way, right? I mean, you got to get close to Bruce Jenner to look. But the guy, you got to hand it to him. From a distance, he does look like a woman. Like, you wouldn't know. You go to the bathroom, it's a dude. Like, you wouldn't even think twice. Because those are the ones who put forth the effort. When you see someone, the school shooters, they are not. I look at them like, come on, man. Go. What are you? No, you're a leftist who's wearing ridiculous. You have all the signs of a leftist who has no value in life. You're not trans. That's just your excuse to go on a rampage against the world. What's with the hair? What's with the ridiculous makeup? What's with the ridiculous piercings? When you look at it, they're mentally ill. Oh yeah, probably, certainly. I doubt trans. I doubt. That's just the excuse. XX for $5. Cap, I read The Crowd by Gustav Le Bon last night. You might find value in it. The Crowd. Yeah, is it normie conforming inferior type of shit? I just don't have time to read. I hate reading so much. Cyberbully, $2. It's all about. Oh, we already did that one. American Noble, $2. I sheet you not. I would not. Call me crazy. No, I believe you wouldn't. I believe you would not. I agree. Most guys would. 20 years old, suck a dick, $250,000. All right. You're done. You're retired. you toss it in. You're done, man. What, 10 minutes of work? Okay, fine. No, I guarantee. If we were to poll, we're not going to poll now. Most guys would. All right, that's it. There you go. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.